So let's start with embodiment. Let me tell you more about the science of embodiment. If you think about all the other creatures on the planet, other than humans, they're all living in embodiment all the time, with the possible exception of domesticated animals that have been made a little bit more neurotic through their domestication, but every other creature on the planet. Some people like to use the word embodiment just to mean the literal sense of being in a body. And I think that's the waste of a really good word. So I use embodiment to describe how all the other creatures on the planet are living in their bodies, because there's a complete uninterrupted flow through their bodies of everything that happens. Their perceptions from the outside, their internal state, hunger, fear, predation, whatever's happening in their beings, it moves in an uninterrupted way through their whole bodies. Think about seeing a horse rearing up and neighing. That's full embodiment from my point of view. But even a quiet moment, think about a wildcat in the middle of the day resting, just lying there, complete repose. You hear something, you turn toward it. You assess it, you move away. Everything just moves completely through the creature's full body. What's different about us is that we have these incredible frontal lobes in our neocortex. So cortex means bark. And in our brains, the surface, the bark of our brains, is 7 cells deep. And in those 7 cells is where all of our cortical activity takes place. That is the most sophisticated part of our brain overall. And then within that, the frontal lobe of our cortex is what is generally introduced in neurological studies as the executive functioning parts of our brain, frontal lobe of the neocortex. So our frontal lobe does many, many, many important things. But for me, the most important thing it does is that it can imagine that which does not exist. Other parts of our brain might go into a very spacious, dreamy, open place. But the only place that imagines is our frontal lobe of our neocortex. Obviously a great quality to have. You can create art, create technology, create architecture, everything that we've created as a culture, even, arrowheads, simple cutting tools, all of that came from our neocortex.